Ready. Oh, there I is. Hello. Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Ready. Oh, here I is. Let's start with any carryovers from last time we were on. Hello out there. Great insights. What you got for us? No one's going to bite the bait? Checking names up here. Okay. Nothing? Okay. Sorry to announce that we have lost Danny from New Zealand. He passed away last week from the cancer caught up to him. So he's taking the journey ahead of the rest of us. Miss him. He was a cool guy. So anyway. Okay. What if I had something intelligent to say? Or what if I've been using this kind of storyline. The upper half is the sort of the normal human's approach to things, and we call this the underworld, a piece that they're unsure of and shaky with. What if we change that diagram tonight to what if we'll give this guy the whole universe that we're in, okay? That whole thing. And that's the awareness, some experience, increasing awareness. You get your high school diploma, then you get your college, whatever, and there's all of that. You read books, and you develop. You develop. So we're giving you the whole space, and that's your developmental space. Okay. Could I say that that pattern starts from a top-down beat? Okay. No, I know that doesn't make total sense right yet, but let's say that one starts down, up, okay? All the way down, all the way up. And there's your world and your dimensional world, your Bobby to Robert to Nadeau, whatever words you use. Okay. In there is a little more room, a 1x1, 2x2, 3x3. A little more breathing space, ta-da, ta-da, okay? And on and on. Okay. Now, we need a name for that. For, what was that?
You just said sorry about that.
Oh, we need a name for that, because what I want to do now is have there be a second phase. So this is the first phase, okay, that you're all experiencing and have been playing with, normal stuff, plus some energy development, still basic, okay? And that's a top-down beat. Now, we settle, sense of depth, settling. Again, a little more room, always with the settling, that's more room opening. Settle, a sense, there's that word sense, a sense of from the deeper, from down here, starts this second phase. And that's going to be a world of sensing, thus having a character who senses, a presence that centers, okay? So we've got a beat down for your basics. and settling, ta-da, opening, and playing this game, if you would, that here comes this second picture that's right there that you won't be able to see from your first phase, from your normal Bobby Robert Nadeau. You know the word sensing. Oh, yes, I understand that word. But I don't mean this knowing about. I mean the actual of that comes up and is present here in your world. And it's a sensing world. Okay? Sensing. And I was a character, he, she who senses. Okay, did I lose myself? Did I lose you? Ah, that we have to clear from our normal world, okay, to experience, to take advantage, to utilize this other world that's here, underlying the first, whatever we're going to call that, the first phase, phase one, physical, mental, awareness, intelligence, some experience, and development in that world. Now we say, okay, let's, it feels to me like a curtain closing. And in that same space, if we go deeper, it starts here, is this next world of sensing fuller and sensing the character in a sensing world. Sensing. All right. Now, at first, all the things of the first world, what's he mean? I have to understand that. Let me look around and see if I can see it. And you went back to that first one. You forgot there was a screen there or a curtain closed. You can't perceive it from Bobby looking around trying to figure it out. But it's here. But we got to balance a bit, settle a bit, square away a bit in our, quote, first world, the first phase. Easy, deeper, curtains closing. Sense it from deeper. And from that deeper, this world begins to show. It's not here 100% yet. Remember, it's a percentage game. Most of my percentage right now is still in the obvious heavy world. But as I play some succeeding passes, then this world that comes up here and shows that it's totally here, the awareness world. Okay, that's it, awareness. The sensing world will become more obvious. So you've got to play there for a while. Okay. The sensing world. Fortunately, again, we know that word in our first phase, your normal world. Oh, yeah, sensing. You can spell it, you kind of have a sense of its meaning, but that's not the actual world of sensing itself, its own unit. And the character who exists in that, he, she who senses. It's a sensing world. Let's see if anyone's following up to this point. Let's run down the list. Bob, do you have anything to throw in right at this moment on sensing world as opposed to your normal ... world?
Yes, Sensei. It feels like the difference is the normal world often starts with thinking and then proceeds through that grid you had talked about before, thinking, feeling, and then sense feeling, and then sensing. This one starts with sensing.
Yeah. Let me go over that. Let me jump in here on this one. Sometime back, I laid out a pattern of thinking, easy, feeling, easy, settle, open, finer feeling, and very soon getting to, I brought the word in sensing there. It's being next, and we sort of stopped there. So thinking, easy, settle, begin to feel. Feeling, easy, settle, open. Finer sense of feeling. And we continue that for another one or two. Finer feeling. Trying to bring you to this sense of sensing realm. Okay. Now I'm saying, okay, but we're limited in the first phase or this universe we're in as to picking up that way the trueness of sensing. So say, okay, now you sort of settled enough, finer feeling enough, sense of the word sensing, but now let's right there. Easy. Let's go deeper to quote the beginning of the sensing phase, the sensing world that is here, underlying the obvious physical. Okay? Here. And the importance of the experience of that. Okay? Not just staying in your first world, thinking about that, trying to understand that, is not that itself experiencing itself with the character experiencing himself, herself as experiencer in the world of experience there, okay, of sensing. You want to continue, Bob? Was there anything more there? We can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to unmute. The experience is one of, it's a different way for the space to open in the sense that circle and center in the upper world that you were describing opens up sort of at the level you're already at. But here, those things come from under, and you can feel them moving up in. And so there's a much deeper quality of experience there than the other way.
Okay. Yeah, we're trying to get the fullness of it, I believe is what we're trying to say there.
Yes.
Okay. I hope I'm not losing you all too much here. Sensing world.
Simple.
How? Go ahead. Somebody?
Sorry, just Chris here from New Zealand. I was sort of experiencing the moment of sort of opening my eyes. There was no the usual eye, you see it in your eyes, you hear in the room. That shifted for a moment where it was you were reliant on the seeing and the hearing. It was another connection with things around. Although it wasn't, it went back to seeing because you're sensing things differently. You're not relying on the eyes, the ears. There's a sensing that things are different than what you see, what you hear. I'm trying to hold that for an experience.
Okay. So all this, your normal world still exists, but I want to shift us to this other aspect that's here, this underlying aspect, this second phase. If this is the first phase, here comes the second phase. It's the phase of sensing, okay? A lot of people, maybe I'll shift here. A lot of people who get to this level, at this sensing level, maybe I'm bringing this up too early, but I mentioned to Teja, Yo-Yo Ma, as playing from a sensing level. Okay, I believe he said that. You want to jump in on that one, Teja? You thought it was pretty good when I said it to you on the phone the other day, so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So could we say that You know, what we often talk about in terms of awareness is a kind of knowing,
Mhm.
and sensing is a different kind of knowing.
Okay.
So, not to confuse knowing with the upper knowing, it is a direct knowing. So it's that underworld is connected with direct experience. And so when we were talking about Yo-Yo Ma as one of these amazing artists and people that move from, he even speaks about it a lot. He moves from and plays from that place. There's no, as Chris was saying, there's no I in there. There's not, I am playing the cello. It's like he becomes the music, and it's a little trite to say, but it's actually what is taking place. There's a blend of those two domains of knowledge, the upper domain of knowing the technique, and the inner deeper level of that coming up. But there's a harmony that allows that kind of expression, so that he really
Be-
you can feel.
Because, could I
Yeah.
say, because they're overlaid, it's
Oh
not
yeah.
a distance away. Because him holding his musical instrument, what's he play?
Cello. Yeah, he's a
Cello.
cellist. Yeah.
Yes, that's a fact. He sits down, he settles with that, but then he does something. He goes inner to this other world. And he's done enough of doing that where it probably doesn't take him too long. He knows when he hits it. He's in the groove, or I don't know what words he would use there, but he's there and he knows it.
He's in the groove. He's in the flow. He spent enough time during doing the technical part,
One
but
more.
even from early on, it wasn't about. He
Yeah,
recognized
yeah,
it's not about the
yeah,
technique.
yeah.
It's about some empowering the
Location.
music from this
Some different location,
from a different
the
location.
presence in that location that we're calling tonight, that sensing realm that's here, that sensing world that's here,
Sensing.
underlying your normal. I'm normal. Now, if I settle and shut up and open, I can shift to more sensing, and I've done a lot of work from a better sensing place.
I
Okay.
like what you said, that those parts, so to speak, are overlaid. It's not like there's this part and there's this
That's
part.
why I wanted to change this
Yeah,
sense. Yeah.
change that
You've got all of
diagram.
this normal physical development,
Yeah,
and you've got this other
yeah,
whole style way of being, and you can get there and operate from there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry.
Don't know how to say it any better, people at this time. Yeah.
That's right. Can we say, would you say we can say that the sensing level is a kind of knowing? It's not
Well,
oblivious.
probably we could say anything. We just have to be careful in the words. So if
Yeah.
you use certain words, I think 10 people out there are going to go knowing. Then I have to say, let's not use that word, or no, let's not say it that way. But yeah, there is a knowing.
Yeah.
But
It's not the upper level.
it's not my normal way of knowing.
Yeah, yeah, right.
I know your phone number,
Yeah.
kind of thing. This is just a knowing about things. How the hell did he know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I'll tell an old story again.
Yeah.
Let's use this as an example. Met a lady at Esalen, caught my attention. We clicked together there for a bit. And she was a veterinarian from down south. And she was very, felt right away, very sensitive, could I say, sensitive. And we're walking along. We pass a house there on Esalen property. And she happens to just take a quick peek. She says, "Oh, that dog has a bad back." Okay, I look, I don't see the dog limping. I've got a pretty good eye for dogs even at that time. I don't see anything. And then she adds to it, the kids are riding on his back, on his body, and that's why he's got a bad back. Where the hell did this come from? There's no kids sitting on his back. There's no kids running around the playground, although the yard, although we can see there's kids there, tricycle, whatever. So I want to check on this lady. I go back later, knock on the door and say, hey, were you aware your dog has a bad back? The lady of the house said, oh, yes, the kids ride on it. Which they shouldn't do that, but they have been doing it. And yes, we kind of know it's got a bad back, and the kids, we're trying to keep the kids off the dog's back. How did this lady, my veterinarian friend, know this? Maybe she had a good eye and she could see, oh, he's got a bad back. Okay. But to know kids were riding on his back, that's why his back was bad. Where the hell did that come from? Sensing world. Get into a fuller sensing world and things unfold, can be seen, can be experienced. You know much more than you should know. One story, okay? Yo-Yo Ma has mentioned his playing location is a sensing location. Is that not right, Tisha?
That's exactly right.
He's in the world of sensing. He knows it. And he says, in the world of sensing, I play from that world. Okay. Now, if he throws that out to musical students, they can say, oh, sensing. Okay, I'm going to sense. And they're still in the first phase world, the normal world, trying to sense. No, it's a world itself. Easy, subtle, open, start from under and covers the whole space. It's in alignment with, it overlays, underlays your normal world. It's fully here. Okay. Where are we so far? Okay. Bob, you brought up something from an OSensei reference. Do you remember?
You talking about the Roy Suinaka thing?
No, I'm talking about OSensei standing someplace else.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's okay.
OSensei said, it was quoted in Linda Holliday's book, that when OSensei was in Shingo and he was teaching the classes there, he said, we were all standing in the dojo, but OSensei was standing in a different world than the rest of us.
Okay, hold it right there. Okay, now OSensei is very, very advanced, even past what we're talking about, but let's use that level. He's standing there in the physical world with the rest of the physical people in a physical dojo, but where he was actually standing from was a different world. So in saying with tonight's conversation, minimum, he was standing in the world of sensing. Okay. And that was caught by Ano. Okay. A lot of people wouldn't even catch that. But he's standing from someplace different. Yeah. And that was my take on him too. Where's this guy coming from? How do you get there? And how does it work? But knowing he's not standing normally, he's standing in a different world. Okay. So we'll hold it at that level for OSensei, but I think he went even further. I know he went further than that, but following that pattern. Okay. You can't, like jump through a pattern and then you go to more advanced, but different discussion on a different night. Sensing. Let me see if I had somebody else here mention. Mind, hang on a second. Sensing. Okay, I bring up another old story I think I mentioned a long time ago. Is Elaine Yoder on? Autumn, I want to talk to you before I leave tonight. Don't go away. Okay. I mentioned this story, but let's use it in context of this. A bridge being built around Chicago or someplace, I don't know. And bridge. And it collapses. I don't know, 8 guys or more got killed when that happened. I heard about it from a company here in the Bay Area that studies, I don't know what their name was, fail-safe or some damn thing. And they would have, they had engineers of all different types, and they would send them to these locations to study what went wrong, what caused this. Okay. So just for practice, I said, Elaine, this bridge that they were building fell over, a bunch of guys got killed. Settle. At that time, playing with some level of this, get into the sensing world. Okay, she senses the bridge. Her attention is drawn to the first support beam, not beam for a bridge, but whatever. Pillar, first support pillar. Seems okay. She moves into the second pillar. There it is. The ground underneath that pillar is vague, it's weak. And that's where it broke down. You know what all the engineers who were sent on site, costing $500,000 or whatever they get paid, all those guys, where the second pillar was used to be a dump and they didn't catch it, and they built a pillar on this ground that used to be a dump. So of course there was no real support. It gave away. This is in 10 minutes, 15 minutes max. How did she know that? We're sitting in the dojo, practicing, sensing. Bing, she hit it. I screwed that one up. I saw the first support, but I followed the bridge up and was checking the cement. It was a cheap cement. Did they let it harden enough? So I got caught up in this, and there was no real answer there. Well, she went boom and caught it. Sensing world is a fantastic potential world. Okay. Things can be known there that normally you can't pick up. Or you can't pick up so fast and so on the button. All right. Interesting. Okay. I mean, what could the vet have learned in veterinarian school about, well, here's what a dog looks like when kids ride on its back. I don't think they have such a class. Bing, she picked it up. This is the corner of her eye. Oh, yeah, the dog bad back. Oh, the kids ride on them. What the hell? She didn't study anything and look around and pick up her microscope and check. It was just a bing, bing, boom. She was very, especially in her field, dogs, she had a good sensing capability with dogs. Susan has a good sensing capability with the client she works on. For example, the children who come in. For those who don't know her, she's a physical therapist by trade, but her sensing is expanding to such a degree, it's getting far beyond moving physical muscles around, a la physical therapist. She's into seeing how family, whatever, is affecting the kid's growth and his physical ailments. All kinds of things are expanding because in practicing our work with the sensing world is expanding and opening and getting clearer. A lot of possibilities here. And it's there for all of you. It's not like, oh, that's something. Oh, you got to be psychic. I hate that word now. Psychic. What the hell does that mean? You don't understand? Go and be psychic. What the hell, psychic? There is a world available to you. It's right here. You got to settle. Inner sensing, deeper, and there's a world that's here. At first, you're still majoring in this first world. Is there anything there? What do I know about it? Yeah, again, and again, and again, till that world that's here shows it's there, and it can be sensed, experienced. And the character there takes up residence as the experiencer of that sensing world. Is that sort of okay so far? Yeah, no? Did I lose you? when OSensei used to stand there and have somebody behind him with a stick bookend and just boom. And OSensei would turn his back. Okay. And as soon as the guy started, OSensei was already here. Wouldn't get hit. The guy was right behind him. He didn't make noisy and say, hey, ah. He didn't do anything like that. Just boom. So OSensei wouldn't be there. Let me listen. See if I hear his gi ruffles telling me he's going to swing. No, sensing. You sense this incoming thing and you're already moving out of the way. Okay. Yeah. Don't attacker has a sword. Don't look at the sword. It moves you from the sensing world back into this world where you're limited. You got to figure out how he's going to swing the sword and when he's going to swing the sword. If you can move in time, it's a limited world. We can get pretty good in it, but compared to next and next and next, heading to more original, it's a limited world. Okay. So where are we? Did I lose you? You're following anything I'm trying to lay out tonight? What if you understood what I was saying? What if I understood what I was saying? What do you got to say?
Sensei,
Yeah.
I could share another story that you were involved with, but I was present when Richard Strozzi Heckler got the contract to work with the Green Berets. But before he'd done any work with them, he just gotten the contract. We were at the Old City Aikido dojo on Turk Street.
Remember?
We're sitting in the back room after class, and he came in. He was telling us about this, and he said, "To he said, I'm not really sure what to do here." So you said, "Okay, stand up there for a minute." He said, "You're John Jones, Green Beret. What's your weakness?" And as soon as you had him do that, he said, "I try too hard." Well, when you read his book about it, that was a struggle he went through the whole time he worked with those guys.
Get in the stuff.
Well, it was very difficult for them to let go.
Yeah.
But
They were had it, heavy achievers.
Yeah.
But that was getting in their way at a certain point. Yeah.
Exactly. You had it before he even did anything with them.
Yeah. It's a lot of possibilities just now. And there's more past that, but hey, this is a hell of a nice step towards the more original. We're getting more squared away in, I'm going to call it our first universe of two parts, normal part and present there underlying it, this sensing part. And we get more balance there. Then it'll move into the continuation, the heading towards the more original of things. So it's kind of important to get balance. This is a type of mind-body harmony, but not as people think of mind-body harmony. They'll do mind-body harmony with this half up here, half of the upper. As you get fuller with the norm, and then fuller with this second piece, real harmony there. And that'll bring us to the next. Yeah. Is that okay, Bob? We finished on that? Yeah.
The other thing is, if you look at somebody like Yo-Yo Ma or anyone who's superlative in a particular field, unfortunately, the newspapers are full of, I'm not talking about Yo-Yo Ma specifically, but are full of people who have that capability in one area, but the rest of their life is a shambles. What you're trying to teach us is how to do this regardless of what kind of activity we're involved in.
Yeah, but let's be okay with the vet was very sensitive, could sense dogs and how they were feeling. She could read them by sensing them. That was her field. Susan's doing basically the same thing. I don't know if, and Ma is a nice level of that. I don't know if Ma could be a stock buyer. Know which stocks are going to go up tomorrow. Not his field. He's not his interest. So although that may be possible, let's leave that for people that are into stock and getting into a better level where they kind of know, ooh, I have a feeling for that stock or something. But still keep the thing open so everybody can fit into this, but not necessarily telling everybody they can do everything. So yeah, no, let's, you understanding what I'm trying to say?
Since I wasn't trying to say they could do anything, but that this process could help us in a more general way, just have a more fulfilling life.
Yes,
Not to be an
for
expert.
anybody in their particular fields. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I wanted to say. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So for those of you who want to practice, uh, uh, Chris mentioned being a salesman a couple of weeks back, and I liked his layout. To say, okay, salesman, and do this, and the sensing world in the physical world of salesmanship. Okay. And I don't know what would happen, but maybe knowing, oh, that guy, I'm going to go over there because that's a sure sale. When he hasn't even met the guy yet, nothing's happened for him to know this, but he knows it. That's an easy sale for me. That'll be a happy client for me. Kind of thing. Or who knows, whatever. But anyway, a simple way of doing this is major in your own field. Then if you want to expand it into another field, feel free. Is all I'm trying to say there. Okay. Yeah.
Sensei, Chris here, I can elaborate a little bit on that one, because that does happen. I'll have a day that's not going so well, take a moment, and suddenly sort of get either told, having a sense of, hey, why don't you ring them or go in there? And I'll be like, it's never worked well before. You have this almost a conversation with yourself, doubting that sense. And then I am beginning to trust more and challenge it, I guess, and say, well, let's go see what you're talking about, sort of thing, to yourself. So I go in and experience what I've been pointed in the direction. 9 times out of 10, it's a very positive experience and something that I wouldn't have chosen to do, and it's worked out very well.
Yeah. And let me jump in here. The guy in a normal world, he's great at being the doubter. Okay. So you have to know that, because if you're going to play and experiment, play in this world of sensing, you're out of the world. You're in that second phase. You're not in this first phase of a normal, where the doubter is really lives strong sometimes. The second phase. And so you got to be careful of those, I don't know, bad habits. Those bad habits we've picked up in world 1 or phase 1, that we shouldn't be trying to bring those into this realm. There's a different realm. It's a sensing realm. So when you play, be easy with yourself. Oh, Sensei likes the word trust along the way here.
Trust. Say that we always talk about trust, and I think that's a big one.
If nothing else, because when you get into more finer, you're starting to leave the normal realm, and that's where the doubter is. And if he's still hanging around, he's going to screw all of your process of opening and developing and experiencing. He's going to throw it off. Yeah. So easy.
I had that the other night, booking some accommodation for myself and my girlfriend. And then I turn up the next day and she goes, oh, my daughter's returning back that weekend. I'm like, and there was a whole lot of resistance around. I was like, really? Should I do that now? But you sort of laugh. You missed that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did I see another? Was there another example I wanted to use?
Sensei, there's another one we talked about a little bit, and that was Einstein, as a matter of fact.
Yes, That's just who I saw again there.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
So,
is obviously very brainy and can use the first world entirely well,
yeah.
perfectly well. But a lot of his discoveries and his deep, appreciation came from from another place. When you read some of his writings, people can.
Yeah.
How does this,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Einstein,
Here we
yeah,
go. Good.
yeah,
What people in this first world or this first phase of this first world say is, oh, he's brainy,
yeah.
but he himself says no. I think he said no scads of times where he operates. What word does he use there? Uh,
Imagination.
Imagination. Okay, that's the next fancier word, but right before imagination is the world of sensing. And soon the word imagination will come in this next, I don't know, next piece, the continuation. They're very close. And he works from that world. So let's bring it back a half a notch and say he works in the sensing world
Sure.
and experiences in the sensing world.
Right.
Yeah. And sees things at a different level that people in the normal level can't see. That's why he's brilliant compared to them. That's why Yo-Yo Ma in your business is brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I loved one of the things, I loved many of the things that Einstein said, but he would talk about what you're talking about here in a way of saying the kind of thinking that's got us into the problems that we now have is insufficient to get us out of it. Right? So he was pointing not to more thinking, but that whole domain of the way that you continue to pump those levels. You can have a lot of development of character in there, but at a certain point, it does have its limitations.
Right. Enough already kind of
Yeah,
thing. Or words that I use, that's that. And it's a reality realm, my normal basic development style.
right.
That's that. But now I need something finer than that. Shift to sensing.
Yeah,
Sensing. When I do medical research with Susan, well, I don't know anything about medical, but I can sense up a storm. But I have to exit or draw the curtain down from my normal world, okay, to get to this sensing world, to hang out with Susan, doing these, whatever we do, Susan, these reads on what's really going on with these sick people, past the obvious, okay? Yeah. She's getting so good at this that the doctors send her cases that have nothing to do with physical therapists. But when they're sort of, can't figure it out. Send that patient to Susan. She's getting very good at the read. Yeah. Sensing as we spend time there and more open, get to read more and more about why and how to help them. Yeah. So she's getting some fast results, you know. Anyway, thank you. Yeah. So Einstein, yeah. We also talked, Tisha and I were talking about, I like the sense of child prodigies as being kids who were, how to say this? I don't know, born more closely related to this sensing world. Okay. That's where they're operating from. Okay. So their abilities, okay. Yo-Yo Ma apparently was a child prodigy. Samuel sent me a video on a little girl who was a child prodigy in England, and she's, I don't know, doing the score and everything for operas or something. And she's still at it, being I don't know what to call him, the director of the show. Now she's about 22, but she's damn good at what she does. She can write the music for every instrument. And she was doing this when she was a little girl. Oh, she's got a big brain. It doesn't do it. Right? So when they interview her, and that's what the interviewing said, you must have a big brain. It's like, dear God, you're in the wrong realm here. She's in a sensing with music and all the instruments that are there. That's her thing. Yeah.
Well,
So
for one thing, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm just mumbling. Go.
For one thing, someone like that, the child prodigies, even from their piano players at 2 or 3 years old that are playing just amazing stuff, they haven't had enough time in this life to have developed the kind of skill that would allow them to do that in the normal progression of development. So they're deeply connected to something else.
Yes.
that they're sensing this other domain, this other world of music, and there's a channel that goes right through them and allows them to express that. Yeah.
Well, again, they're overlaid. So if you're standing in that realm, you're functioning in the physical also.
Yeah.
And you lose it if you come out heavy into the physical and get caught up in looking at the guy with the sword who's coming at you. Then now you're going to lose it. How to retain that and be in the world. Yeah.
So that bridge that OSensei sometimes talked about, he was able to poise skillfully, wonderfully he was in both worlds, or had
you could free flow.
Yeah. So
Golden
I think the
bridge.
prodigies do too. The kids that are just so brilliant.
You see a shorter form of it, but there it is.
Yeah.
A problem an 8-year-old, 6-year-old, whatever, shouldn't be able to figure out, and they've got it figured.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, people, if you're interested in sensing, studying the word won't do it. Making believe whatever you think about your sensing won't do it. You're thinking. Don't you know when you're thinking? Shut up. Settle. Play the game. A sense of deeper, easy, settle, deeper. And play the game from this deeper. Here comes we drop the curtain. Here comes this next major piece of scenery that's right here, called the sensing world. Your first pass or your first 5 passes, you're not sure, and there's little glimmers of something. But that's where I practice. I practice with this stuff. Okay? Till it's there fuller and fuller. And later you get very fast at it, but I'm afraid to use words like that because the thinker will say, let me think about it fast. There, I'm there. No, you're not. But if you take your time and practice, it does naturally get faster. But don't worry about that word speed. I even shouldn't bring it up. But just, Sensei was fast. You could go from this old man to, oh my God. Just click, lickety split. And he tried to explain it by saying, Nadeau, at this level, there's no time and space. It's just boom. But he had to practice a lot slowly to catch how it works to be able to do that. So practice if you're interested. Okay. Play with it. Okay. And again, maybe it'll be easier to play with it in an arena that's fun for you or easy for you, like the veterinarian, Susan with her healing, Ma with his music, Einstein with his figuring out how the universe, math, whatever he does, works. Okay. Wasn't Jung in here? Now he threw a bunch of psychological words at this experience of her. Wasn't he sensing things? Didn't he do very well in sensing things about whatever, human psyche, that weren't normally caught by the brainy people? Didn't he introduce or clarify a lot of things? Wasn't that a sensing world that he was playing in? Whatever, you play, you check. You get back to me. Okay. Uh, let's see what. Minor word of caution. Because the sensing world, in a lot of times, a lot of cases, is a sort of a visual. Don't forget that it's very, for lack of words, alive. Okay, and the character of that world is very alive. Okay, so because a lot of it will show as just being able to see something. Okay. You may not notice how alive it is and how alive there is a character who is the rep of that world. Very alive. Okay. Don't know if I said that well, but if you heard me, keep it in mind. Oh, what else? Oh, that probably because that second phase, the sensing world, is so right here, underlies your normal world. There's probably been a lot of little bleed throughs where you've all been touched or been affected by a sensing of something out of nowhere, and you were right on the button. Okay. In fact, you probably have a story or two about what happened to you when you suddenly knew something you shouldn't have known, whatever. That it seems like it can bleed through, might be a better word than bleed through, but show through. I think I told you a story. I think my sister's with her husband driving from Hartford to Rhode Island or visit someplace. And he's a truck driver, and you don't tell him how to drive. Not this guy. No way. No way. And they're getting to the top of a hill, and she said, "Stop the car." Emphatic, stop the car. They stop the car. They get out, and they look downhill. The bridge right there is out. No warning signs up or anything yet. If they had kept going, it was so close, quite likely they would have ended up in the river. Okay, what happened that she knew there was danger? I never went over the story fully with her. Did she have a feeling of danger? Was this not a flow through from the sensing world of, hey, this world sees a bit better, clearer, and there's a bridge out there. You better not go any further. So what do you want to call that? A bleed through, a flash through? But I think a lot of people have had those. Okay. Because it's so close. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. So I don't know if I've lost you tonight. Chat with me. Somebody who I haven't heard from for a while. Everybody shy tonight?
Sensei, it's Autumn.
Hey, Autumn.
Could you talk a little bit more about sensing and how it's very, very alive, and that we need to remember that, and that the character, as you're going through different levels, how you can continue to tap into its aliveness?
I don't want to talk to that to you. I want to talk to you about I don't remember what we were talking about, but I want to go back to that subject of you, the character, you, Autumn.
Mm.
Okay. And I don't remember what I said to you, but I may have said, I think she forgot she has to exercise or pump the pump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said don't get lazy.
I'm lazy. Because remember, you got it lined up. Yourself is fine. You're in the right field of theatrics, whatever you call it, and that you're an actor, actress. You're really lined up. You just forgot how to pump the pump of the centered character, you, the person, actress. Okay. Now, my read when you said you got bumped after a show was finished, my read was, I forgot what I said then, but I'll say it, see if it's the same one tonight, that you're allowing the character of the show, the character, you're allowing the character, which is what a good actor, actress should do, allow the character. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That when you were finished with the show, you don't need the character anymore. So you're clearing from the character. And you said, then is when you get bumped. At the end of the show, when the show is over, you get bumped. And I don't know what I said last time I talked to you, but I'd say here, I believe again, this is that makes up you. Autumn was trying to be there fuller. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So you'd be bumped by the more of you, the centered me character, Autumn, the actress, as being the bump. Elaine, are you on tonight? No, because I think she had a little different angle on it, but she's not on. Susan, you mentioned something. Do you remember what you mentioned? I see your name, Susan. Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry, Sensei.
Do you remember your take on Autumn from the last conversation I had with her?
Yeah, I wanted to say, Autumn, that I was impressed that you were there and acknowledged and felt the bump. You know, that shows a level of being there, of being present, and you know, just acknowledging that bump is huge.
That's cool.
Yeah.
See, the dumb people wouldn't catch it as a bump of energy or a bump of equality, and they wouldn't catch it. They'd make up some story. Like, I don't know. I'm feeling uncomfortable. Let's go get a couple of drinks. The show is over. I don't know what they do, but I think she's saying that was cool that you caught. Oh, something's saying something. Let me open and settle and allow it to be here. And I suggested what it's saying is you let go of that character. Good. Now let's come back to you because you're a little soft here. Let's establish you a bit fuller.
It feels like the need to do more of it all of the time and kind of live in that place, not just use it for the discipline of a show or a performance.
Yeah, you can do it pretty fast. You know, I can go from a Bobby. Well, I'm fast anyway, but just let me see, just something simple. Oh, okay. I'll try to bring myself into a little tighter. I'm okay. Okay, I'm okay. Easy, settle, open. A sense of boom, things moving a bit. Boom, boom, or boom, boom. Inhale, exhale. Okay, same difference. And eight. I feel a little stronger. I actually do. I feel straighter, feel a little bit wider. My voice is changing. I'm not making that up. It just is happening. So yeah, you get to pump the pump in a moment. So to do it more regularly, why not? No big deal.
Thank you, Sensei.
Yeah, so when you're feeling good, try the pump to see if you can even feel better. If you're feeling down, definitely do the pump to stop going downer and downer and downer. Yeah, that's all I want to talk to you about. We're not going to talk about anything from tonight. This is important. Okay, because again, you're so damn well lined up. Don't lose that piece. Your lineup is so damn good. Let's keep working it. Okay, somebody, you're gonna cut me out. Hey, I see LA Steve. LA Steve, come on, say something intelligent. Jesus.
You know, I don't know if I can say anything intelligent right
Try.
now, but a couple things. Just one, I just want to recommend to everybody to catch a YouTube video of Yo-Yo Ma playing one of the cello suites out in the woods by a river, talking about sensing. He's just him in a chair out in the middle of nowhere. So check that out on YouTube if you can.
Talking about sensing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he just watch it.
I usually was he talking about sensing or
No,
or
he's
just
playing.
he was
from
playing.
the
Okay.
God,
Right.
Bach.
I misunderstood. Okay.
Okay. No, the thing that kept coming to me earlier is, long ago we talked about the idea of trading in a character, and I keep going to that with this from World One, where you understand and all that, to World Two, you're actually trading in that character. The World One character can think about sensing.
Okay. If I'm following you. Okay, this is a sort of a more major trade-in. Okay. You're Steve, the at-home guy. Now, if you're going to go on the ball field, you have to trade in Steve, the at-home guy, for the guy who's on the ball field. And you sort of hopefully naturally do that. You don't go on the ball field as Steve, the guy who's at home.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, or the idea, the first world guy, the character, I can understand about fire, but the second world guy touches the fire, experiences it, is that fire, is the knowledge is not the same kind of knowledge as the first world guy is. The first world guy processes it up here. The second you trade in that character, the second one is that experience, like you say, the experience, the sensing, the experience.
In the world of sensing is whatever name you want to give him, the sensing character. But careful the word character. He's not going to, and am I the sensing character yet?
Yeah, no.
Careful the word. Yeah, it gets more, well, we're into a finer zone here. Sensing zone is a bit finer, but there's still a character present in that, of that.
Yeah.
I just don't make the word character there too heavy. A character. It's
right. No.
You're out of that zone.
Right. But
the continuation of a character type thing, and then later the characters become archetype characters, and that continues. So that's having a character there is an ongoing. Okay. Yeah.
but it isn't the same. I mean, it's another character. The first world character doesn't experience like the second world character. It's more of a separation from what's coming.
Yeah, it's a whole different world. It's a different world. So yeah. Totally. And because it's not clear, and in your first pass or 2 or 5, don't panic. Trust and continue playing that game. Yeah. It's its own world, has its own flavor with itself, and the character of that has its own flavor. Don't panic. As you continue it, your percentage there increases and increases and increases. Uh, uh, so it'll even be true to you. You won't have to sell yourself. You'll shift into trying to sell other people how great that is. Whatever. Anyway. Okay, we got a few minutes if you want, or I can go drink wine, whatever. Your call, people. Hello out there.
Hello, Sensei. This is Andrew. How's it
Andrew,
going?
hanging in there.
This is not so much about sensing danger, but about a year ago, I guess I took the plunge to take some improv classes.
Yeah.
Now prior I'd been in Toastmasters International. They basically teach you how to do public speaking. So I started taking improv classes, and after about a year, I went back to my Toastmasters, some of my meetings, and now I've been in this club for a long time. And so they've known how I speak, how I debate and stuff. But after taking quite a few improv classes, they all said that, oh my God, you're more natural, you flow better, you form
Okay.
arguments better,
Yeah.
things like that. And even in my
Of course.
professional work.
Of course. Of course.
And
If somebody does judo and comes to Aikido for a few months, goes back to judo, going to be a little bit different, a little bit better. The teacher's going, what have you been doing? Something out of show. So we're talking about, he's still in, we're not talking about the second sensing realm here. He's just talking about an improvement normal in the normal world. Having trouble with this, we might try that for a bit and then come back to this. And often you're better at this because of that shift. Yeah, that's basically what we're saying here, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like I'm going to a new level.
Well, you won't
because-
get, hopefully you shouldn't get worse. It should be a developmental process, what we're talking about here. Go.
Like, and there was a recent class I just took. I'm taking multiple improv classes. It was where we had to learn how to create a song on the fly, singing. I was very nervous. I never sang. In fact, I avoid singing as much as I can. But even when we completed it, even the instructor said, you found your voice. You found kind of a flow, and of course, everybody sings very differently and stuff. And I brought that back to I completed the class. I went back to Toastmasters, and of course, my professional job, and I got the same feedback from people who don't know each other. They've all said the same thing. Is that, oh, you come off more confident. You tend to, I guess, improvise, for the lack of better words. You're more present. There you go.
Can I ask Andrew, could you say anything about how you feel? Is there anything different that you could express that you notice?
Oh, absolutely. It feels like it feels I guess the best way I can describe it, it's like the difference between regular unleaded gasoline and then I'm given like jet fuel.
Back to, he asked how you feel.
Sorry. I guess amazing. Yeah. Pretty like alive. There you go.
Let's go to visceral feeling. Is there anything closer to your musculature, energy level, your tonality, level of tension? I don't know.
Richard, he may have touched on it. Let's bring him back here when he said more alive. If he's actually experiencing the hum of aliveness, the glow of aliveness, then I think he's heading into what you're trying for. Back to him.
Yeah, I guess, Andrew, I'm just looking for what, there's everybody's saying, hey, Andrew, you're different. Well, where is it from does that surprise you, or do you feel different? And if you do, I'm trying to get a sense of how you might help us understand what you're describing.
I do feel different.
I'd stay with the aliveness.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I mean,
Sorry.
yeah, I mean, aliveness, it feels like I'm talking about visceral. Like my muscles are, I'm just gonna throw it out there. My muscles feel alive, like
Yeah.
there's a hum,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
a
Richard, we're on target here.
Okay.
He's glowing a bit. He's humming a bit, more alive, and his muscles feel different. But all he did basically, back to Autumn. Autumn, yes, okay. That's what the pump does. Pump, pump, and Bobby with becomes Robert, and he's a little more alive. Bobby shouldn't go to parties because nobody's going to notice him, or they'll take pity on him.
Mhm.
Couple of pumps there, boom, makes it a Robert. He's a little more alive. He's got a better chance at the party. And on and on. That's all we're asking you. So he's just using the word alive. Okay, I'm just bringing up that, yeah, you can pump into more aliveness. It's there. Everyone's got it. But some of them are working off of small batteries. They learn a little trick. I call it the pump, where they inhale, exhale is a pump. Moving hat, oh, whatever is a pump, as long as you sort of have that flavor. The battery recharges or goes from a little battery to a bigger battery, and there you are, glowing. I am me. Don't call me Bobby. My name is Nadeau. Ba-boom. Kind of thing. All right. Thank you, Richard. And thank you all. If there's nothing else, I smell food from the kitchen. Me and Brad are going to head that way. Anything? Practice. If you're interested, practice. A world of sensing. All right, get out of here. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you, Sensei. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Sensei. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.